For today's video, I filmed all my meals for 5 days in a row last week, so Monday through Friday. It was a pretty chill week, filled with lots of easy, mostly improvised recipes. So yeah, I hope you're gonna get some good, useful ideas from this. Support for today comes from Squarespace, so shout out to them. And now, let's get into it. I've got a question. What is something that you used to thoroughly dislike, but now you're kind of obsessed with it? Fennel tea for me definitely falls into that category. Anyway, breakfast. I had these whole wheat toasties here, topped with hummus, vegan sour cream, cherry tomatoes, and some everything but the bagel seasoning. Also, there was some radishes on the side here. This is a jar of banana, apple, and zwieback flavored baby food. Zwieback is rusks in English, right? So these very hard, toast-shaped looking biscuits. In the late afternoon, I had a smoothie consisting of frozen broccoli, a green apple, some frozen raspberries, some oat milk, vanilla protein powder, soy yogurt, and a little bit of maple syrup. Tasted a bit too much like broccoli, but besides that, pretty okay, I would say. I topped this off with some unsweetened cornflakes and some white almond butter, cause smoothies are just more fun when eaten like soup, or like a smoothie bowl. On to dinner. First off, I chopped up a few tiny carrots, 2 small shallots, and half of a zucchini. I brought a big pan with some oil to medium heat and then added the veggies to saute in there for about 7 minutes, stirring every once in a while. Meanwhile, I put together the base for some basic tofu scramble. So here I'm crumbling up a block of tofu, just firm plain tofu, then adding some cornstarch, followed by some spices. We've got turmeric, chili powder, garlic powder, and a bit of salt. And then added some soy yogurt and also a tiny bit of mustard. Now back to the veggies. I'm adding some tomato puree here, bit of maple syrup, can of chopped tomatoes, and some vegetable broth. Then I let this simmer for about 8 minutes. That was just enough time for me to fry my tofu scramble in some vegan butter over medium-high heat. I added some frozen parsley to it and used that pan to also heat up my tortilla, which I got fresh from the freezer. You know, having dinner while watching Love Island and doing an insanely difficult Harry Potter puzzle was like the most self-care thing I've done in weeks. I know I'm way behind on these episodes. I was gonna keep this for tomorrow, but then decided against that. Alright, moving on. Here's a little something that I prepared the night before. A bowl of small cut oats, salt, chia seeds, vegan yogurt, baking powder, non-dairy milk, maple syrup, lemon zest, and blueberries. The reason there's baking powder in this is I want to know what happens when you bake overnight oats. Spoiler alert, you get baked overnight oats. It actually makes a lot more sense to add the baking powder minutes in before you're ready to bake, so that's the only thing I do differently next time. I transfer the batter to a coconut oil grease bowl because I thought I might want to lift the baked oats out of that later. Didn't actually end up doing it, but the oil still makes it so the oats don't stick to the bottom like crazy. So I would suggest you just lightly grease any small oven-proof dish that you want to bake your oats in. If any of you microwave owners want to volunteer as tribute to recipe test this, please do so and leave a comment down below telling us how long that took for you in the microwave and what the outcome was like. I'm curious to know. This next meal was inspired by Artemis. So first off, I cooked up some frozen broccoli, just letting it defrost and steam with the lid on for about 4 minutes over medium-high heat. In the meantime, I cut up some more tiny carrots and half a block of smoked tofu, and then I made a quick sauce out of soy sauce and tahini. I felt like I added a bit too much soy sauce here. It was quite salty. Someone named Jenny left this recipe for chocolate energy balls somewhere in the comment section. I saw this and was feeling like something sweet. So yeah, I got to testing this right away. My dates were a little dehydrated, so I let them sit in some hot boiling water for about 10 minutes. To a food processor, I added all the listed ingredients. So walnuts, unsweetened cacao powder. Actually, I didn't have any vanilla, so I went with a tiny bit of cinnamon instead. Generous pinch of salt, dried cranberries, and the soaked and drained dates, of course. After blending this, I also ended up adding 1 to 2 teaspoons of water for the mixture to better stick together, but only add that if you feel like it's necessary. These were really good. A little messy to eat, I must say, but that's fine with me. For dinner, I made this super simple and easy hummus and spinach rice, sort of like a very lazy risotto type situation. First off, I cooked up some rice according to the packaging. Then I chopped up some shallots and garlic by hand, and then I used the food processor to chop up the spinach super fine. You can also use a knife here. To a large skillet, I added some olive oil, brought the heat to medium, added the onion first, let that cook for about 6 minutes. Then the garlic went in there, giving that another 2 minutes. And then I dumped in all the spinach, which reduces to basically nothing. I let this cook for another minute or two and then added some white wine, which can be subbed for vegetable broth. It'll taste better with the wine though. Some chili flakes, some hummus, and water. Then I mixed in the rice I'd cooked earlier. I served this with some cherry tomatoes, some smoked tofu, and some extra hummus. Artie came over for dinner. Das habe ich in deiner Story gesehen.
Fashion.
We ended up finishing Outer Banks Season 2, which was quite fun. And that was that. Wednesday morning, I had breakfast with a new friend I made recently. We went to this cafe called Pele Mele? Anyway, super cute vibes there. I was gonna say very vegan, like it's fully plant-based, which is awesome. Coffee is also one of those things that I used to despise, but now I don't hate anymore. I would definitely recommend this place. I'm definitely gonna come back. When I got back home, I packed up a couple more energy bites and blueberries and water to take with me to the library. I basically spent all day there. Dinner then had to be rather small. I just steamed up the other zucchini half together with some frozen chickpeas, some lemon juice, and a couple spices. Also had some whole wheat bread with some vegan cheese, cherry tomatoes, sriracha, and that was it. Starting the day off with some more tea. Breakfast was a little muesli. I hadn't had goji berries in what feels like years. I completely forgot the fact that they love to stick to the bottom of your teeth and that they taste like perfume. My lunch was this super simple sweet potato bowl. So I just went ahead and cut a sweet potato into chunks. I peeled it and then I cut it into chunks and then boiled everything for about 12 minutes. Meanwhile, I just put together the most basic hummus sauce, made out of hummus, lemon juice, and water. It's basically just very thin hummus, that's all. Once the potatoes were tender, I added some frozen edamame and frozen peas to the pot to defrost for like a minute. Also some smoked tofu I had left over from Tuesday's dinner. It was looking a bit dry, but still good to eat, I think. The meal was made complete with some sriracha, cherry tomatoes, and bagel seasoning. Dinner was sushi filled with crispy tofu, avocado, and cucumber. It was so good. We also had some roasted cauliflower here, hummus, vegan sour cream, bunch of condiments. For the sushi, I used some rice porridge, some milk rice, which pretty much is the same thing as sushi rice, or at least they're very closely related. Cook your rice in some salted water. As the rice was cooling down, I quickly combined some rice vinegar and agave syrup. I added that to the cooling rice. For the crispy tofu, I first cut up a block of firm tofu into long rectangles. And then I coated these pieces in a mixture of cornstarch, salt, chili flakes, and the vegan chickenless salt. It's the one Emma's obsessed with, right? I bought a large pan with a few tablespoons of vegetable oil to medium high and fried the tofu until golden brown for about 2 minutes on each side. On each of the 4 sides. Just check every once in a while and see if you're happy with the color. Grab a piece of nori, flip it so the shiny side is facing down and the scratchy side is up top. Then grab a glass of water and a tablespoon and use the spoon to firmly press down the rice. If the rice sticks to the spoon, just dip it into the water. That helps. Cover almost the entire sheet of nori. Make sure you leave like the top 3 centimeters free from rice. Then add your filling to the lower middle. Start tightly rolling this. Dip your fingers into the water and wet the part that you haven't covered with rice. And yeah, use that to close off the rolls. This sushi is by no means perfect, but it was very delicious. Oh my god, Nina had the most wholesome idea for what we could do that evening. She saw a TikTok about this actually. Let me see if I can find it.
I invited my friends to an art night. This is what we tried to paint. This is how it turned out.
So it's basically just gathering a bunch of friends and painting the same painting together. It could also be an abstract concept like paint what you think love is, or anger, or FOMO, I don't know. But yeah, it was a really cute evening. Very, very wholesome times. I had a little smoothie for breakfast made with frozen berries, ground flax seeds, vanilla protein powder, salted date caramel. Recipe will be down below. It's basically just blended dates with salt, coconut milk, and a bit of water. This used to be one of my favorite foods as a kid. Whole wheat bread with Nutella. Vi soya here instead of Nutella, but that doesn't really make a difference to me. Quite random, but I would absolutely recommend this soundscape video of a coffee shop in Tokyo. I'll link to it down below. I love it so much, especially the visuals. It's just very cozy but motivating at the same time. Lunch ended up being a sort of low effort Turkish pizza style pizza wrap. Inside a breakfast bowl, I first mixed together some dried soy granules, vegetable broth powder, and smoked paprika powder. Then I poured over some hot boiling water and let this sit for about 7 minutes. In the meantime, I chopped up a few smaller carrots, some shallots, and a clove of garlic. I let the carrots and onions saute first over medium heat for about 6 minutes before adding the garlic, giving that a quick mix, and then adding the drained soy. Make sure you kind of shake off as much of the water as you can. Add some tomato puree, then you can add some water. Spice-wise, I added some ras el hanout, some sumac, and turmeric. Also a bit of soy sauce. Added a bit of vegan sour cream and some cucumber. This was so good. I had some decaffeinated oat milk coffee. I feel so fancy now that I drink it. I have to be honest. I feel like an adult. Dinner was essentially the same as lunch, just a whole lot more cucumber and some cherry tomatoes, also some sesame seeds. And oh my god, I'm watching Love Island again. It's a full circle moment. And that was my work week of food, basically. Now, to close off this video, let me talk about Squarespace a bit. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform for those of you wanting to create your own beautiful online presence. They've got a huge variety of stunning, professionally designed website templates that you can choose from, and you can really make any of these into your own. I've got a Squarespace website where most of my recipes are organized by different categories. I'll link to it down below so you can sift through those. Squarespace provides you with analytic tools helping you understand your audience, clients, or customers, and further grow your business. You can also use Squarespace's logo maker to create a cool new logo, and don't forget to choose a unique domain name. It's all about the branding, you guys. Go to squarespace.com/MinaRome or use code MinaRome to get 10% off your first purchase of a new site or domain. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I will talk to you soon. Until next time, bye.